So I recently watched a video, and it was just a talking head video from the perspective of a psychologist, I believe, and the subject of the video was anxiety and depression, and how taking out your phone every time you're bored at like a bus stop or in a waiting room, wherever, if you have nothing going on, taking out your phone, scrolling on social media, doom scrolling, all that stuff is like a major cause of anxiety and depression. And I wouldn't consider myself really a depressed person, but I am definitely anxious at times. Socially, with public speaking sometimes. I have a job where I have to speak in front of people, and sometimes I get some anxiety with that. But that video kind of awoke something in my mind, and I kind of wanted to experiment with not going on Reddit anymore, because that is like 90% probably of my phone usage is scrolling and on Reddit and looking at stuff on Reddit. So I thought maybe something will come up of this, like noticeable effects from not looking at it anymore. So yeah, I did that. It's been a week, and I genuinely have noticed things. The main thing I've noticed is that I was insanely addicted to Reddit in like an addiction type way, where every time I was bored, I would take out my phone and I would just instinctively go to Reddit. And all throughout this week, if I was bored, like I work from home, and sometimes there's downtime, so I take out my phone and I immediately go to click on the empty space where that app was on my home screen. Every single time I instinctively want to go to that empty space. It's weird. And only until the last day or two have I like stopped doing that, like instinctively wanting to click on that empty space if I have nothing going on. My first like way to try to deal with that once I noticed it happening was to just get engrossed in whatever the main thing I'm focusing on is, which usually I would be like watching a YouTube video, and then it'd be like picture-in-picture mode, and I would go on Reddit, and I'd be listening to the YouTube video while scrolling on Reddit. So instead of doing the picture-in-picture mode, I'm just fully engrossed in the YouTube video and just watching the YouTube video. And I'm trying to learn how to like be bored. That was one thing that he was really trying to drive home in that video that I was talking about, is that people need to learn how to be bored. And that really stuck with me. And I really want to learn how to be bored. And I think I'm learning. So, other effects I've noticed, yeah, I'm getting better at being bored. At my job, I have to talk to people, one-on-one or in groups. And sometimes I'm like at a loss for words, especially if it's in groups. And I have to take like long-ish pauses to really collect my thoughts and portray what I'm trying to portray in a not stupid-sounding way. But especially a meeting I had earlier today, I had to talk for a longish period of time in front of like 7 or 8 people, and I did really well. And it's not something, it was like impromptu talking in front of them. I didn't plan to at all. And then it just kind of was pushed on me like, what do you think about this? I don't want to, it was like a project that I'm working on, and another guy that I work with was kind of presenting the idea of this project that I'm working on. And then he was like, I don't want to steal his thunder. Yeah, you can go ahead and explain it more. And then I was like, yeah, okay. And then I talked about it for like 5 straight minutes, like without taking a breath. And as I was doing it, and afterwards, I was so self-aware of that. I was like, oh my God, I just did that. And I had no anxiety, and I just knew exactly what this, I had no brain fog at all. And the only thing I've changed in my life, I'm still doing all of my other probably bad addictive habits, but the only thing I've changed is not going on my main social media app that I know everyone has, that you always open. It's the first thing you open if if you're not opening your phone for a specific reason to like text someone back or something, you just are trying to not be bored, you always instinctively go to this one app. Reddit was that for me, absolutely. So not doing that is the only thing that I've changed about myself. So I think it's absolutely having an effect on my ability to portray my thoughts in like a somewhat articulate way. And I also felt so anxiety is weird. Sometimes you know you're about to talk, and then you have like the anxiety, your heart starts racing a little. You do fine or you bomb, whatever, but regardless, usually the next time you're still going to have that anxiety. And then, all right, so say the first time you do really well. So the next time you're kind of thinking about that last time you did really well. And then you get in that loop a little bit where you're like, oh, but I did really well last time, so this time I'll do bad. But also, I did do really well last time. Maybe, I'm capable of this. I can do this. The anxiety's still there. Your heart's still beating. But you have a little bit of confidence going into it. And I had that, like, definitely earlier. Having, like, being in this mindset where I'm not going on my social media app and realizing the last couple days that I'm doing better. So I was, like, kind of overanalyzing that going into this meeting. That I'm going to have to talk in front of people. I could do well because I've done well in the past, or I could do bad because I've done bad in the past, but there's an added factor of that I'm not doing what this doctor claims is a huge cause of anxiety and depression. I'm not doing that, so I'm especially aware. So I still had the anxiety, but I did better than I've ever done. I can honestly say that. I think in this meeting earlier, I articulated my thoughts better than I have so far in this job. And the only thing I've changed, I've already said this, but I really want to drive it home. The only thing I've changed was not going on Reddit, my social media app. So it's weird. So that's as far as like talking and anxiety. That's the effect. That's one effect I've noticed. Another effect I've noticed is, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this with gaming. As somebody in their late 20s, early 30s. I'm right on the dot on 30. It takes a really special game these days to keep me playing for more than 5 minutes. I've probably spent like $500 or something in the last year buying games on my Steam Deck, installing them, playing them for 5 minutes, getting bored, and then stopping or uninstalling them. Before I had a Steam Deck, my Steam library was probably like 10 games. Now it's like 200 games. And I've probably 99% of the gameplay is like in 3 or 4 different games. So one of my favorite games of all time, one of my favorite game series of all time too, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I beat the first one a couple years ago. I got like 75% into the second one, and then just kind of stopped for some reason. Probably like I was busy with work. I think I started school again for the second one, but that was like a whole year ago. So I'm like pretty disconnected with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at this point. So I didn't want to just go straight back into that and like have no idea what's going on with the story, because the story of those games, if you've never played it, it's the most like engrossing and engaging story of any game I've ever played in my entire life. Like, I'm usually the type of gamer who skips every single dialogue sequence and cutscene. I skip all of it. I don't care. I just want to play the game. This is the one game, the first one and the second one, where if there's a cutscene, I put my controller down. I'm ready to like, I'm jumping into this like it's a movie and I'm at the movies every time there's a cutscene. And the gameplay is awesome too, and I love like the survival aspects. But that's beside the point. I started playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 again for the second time. And after like 5 days of not being on Reddit, I was like locked in immediately. I was like, oh my God, I forgot how good this game is. And it's like all I want to do now. Like if I'm not doing something, it's like, oh, I wish I was playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 right now. All day at work, it's like, oh, I just want to play KCD 1, come on. Work be over. I just want to play. So that's, I don't think it was in that video. He didn't touch on that, but I've noticed, I think 30-year-olds, like young millennials, are they're really heavily impacted by the social media stuff because we're kind of the main generation that got the smartphones at like a relatively like early age when our brains were really developing. So we've been really used to scrolling on social media for a long time. I don't know, it might just be me, but this is like my theory with that is that by the time we're this age, like around where I am right now, it's hard to like stay entranced in a game for a long period of time because we're so bad at being, I don't want to say being bored, but it's kind of is like that. We can't focus on one thing. We need constant hits of dopamine, And KCD 1, especially if you're playing on hardcore mode, there's no fast travel. So that is not like a constant like dopamine producing game. There's a lot of walking, and I caught myself playing it yesterday, especially really enjoying the walking, just like the traveling around and like looking at like the mountains and this like riding on your horse and like looking to the side and like looking at the sunset in the game. I've like never done that with any game ever. I think it's really having an effect. Like this, like getting rid of the doom scrolling is really having an effect on me really enjoying one thing at a time, Things that I really enjoyed when I was like a lot younger. Like I remember being in like high school, and it's like early high school especially, where there was like MySpace and stuff, but it was not really like a scrolling and looking at posts. It's a lot. It was mostly just interacting with your friends. It wasn't really looking at popular posts on the platform as a whole, in quick succession, especially. So you could like, it'd be Saturday if you had no plans to hang out with people or something. You could play a video game all day, one video game the entire day. And I did. And it was probably Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion. I've beaten that game probably like 10 times. Every single side quest, every, quest line, everything you can do in that game, I've done a million times and never gotten bored of it. And I tried to do that again. Like when the remaster came out, I tried to do that again. And I just wasn't interested, even though I haven't played in like a long time. It seems like it would be somewhat fresh again. But I think it's the doom scrolling, It's the doom scrolling. I couldn't enjoy it like I could before. So maybe after I beat the first Kingdom Come Deliverance, I'm going to play the second one, and I'm going to do hardcore mode like I'm doing on the first one right now. Highly recommended. Not for your first time, by the way. The no fast traveling is rough, and there's no compass. You have to use like the sun and look at the map old school and like understand the roads and compare where you are in the road and how it looks on the map and everything. But it's all like awesome, and I'm really enjoying it. And I feel like I'm a gamer again, And it's awesome. I love it. So the next point, I guess, I'm not even really sure how to explain this, but is this all just like a placebo effect because I watched that video? Maybe, but I don't think so. Because there is, maybe I was over-analyzing, and I'm like really overthinking about, like, I watched the video and I stopped looking at Reddit, and that's why I still had, but I had anxiety going into a meeting in the past, so that's why I still had anxiety. But I don't know, I'm just too self-aware. I'm too self-aware of what's going on, and I'm definitely an overthinker. So right now, I think this is not a placebo effect, and I'm going to see how it goes for another week and then maybe even a month. See what happens. And yeah, Side note on that, I'm loving not seeing everything that's happening with, every stupid post that Donald Trump makes. That's been great. Like halfway into this little experiment, I woke up and I woke up a little early before work, and I had some time to just lay in bed and like look at my phone, and I went on Reddit. I just deleted Reddit from my phone screen. I didn't delete it from my phone. And I've been really good with not looking at it. But one morning, a few days ago, I opened the app and I was like, it'll be okay. Just like first thing in the morning, I'll just look at it for 5 minutes. I won't look at it for the rest of the day. The first thing I open, the first thing I see, very top post on the homepage, is Donald Trump flying a jet and dumping shit on the No King's Day protesters. And I was like, nope, I need to get off of here right now. I can't do this. So I'm loving not seeing all of that, because I think that if there was some depression there, posts like that definitely contributed to it. Just the nonstop updates on things that I think are stupid and drive me insane. Like 100% of things that Donald Trump does. But yeah, this isn't going to be a political video. That's all I have for today. So thanks for listening.